We are having a great time, and I will tell you that what drives me, and I know drives Carol, as we try to push in so many areas, is the extraordinarily positive feedback that we get from many of you in this room and many throughout the city. The well wishes and the attaboys and keep plugging away are really, really well received, and that's what really gives us the energy to keep going. We think positive progress has really been the term that has sort of led our administration. That's what we've really strived for since day one, positive progress. And I hope you see the progress is going on in all parts of the city, as there are numerous projects, and most of them are fairly obvious projects that are underway. Although not everyone believes with our way of thinking that we need to keep pushing. Believe this or not, just a couple of weeks ago, as we were debating the merits of the hotel project, a certain elected member of a certain body looked at me and was politely critical of me for having too many projects going on. Lloyd, you need to slow down. Well, first of all, those of you who know me know that's typically not my style, and I don't think that's what we expect out of our local elected officials. We need to push forward. We have important work to do on behalf of the city, and to the extent that we can push projects to make Evansville a more vibrant city, I think we all succeed at an even faster rate. So anyway, we have a lot going on, and I'm proud of it. When we came into office, one of our goals was to change the tone of civil dialogue in the city. A partnership with Leadership Evansville was formed, and visioning sessions were held throughout the city to truly engage the public on their preferred future for our city. And by the way, the next meeting is tonight at 5:30 at the Tin Man, where we're going to be talking about experiences. Experiences was one of the top areas that people talked about in our visioning sessions. We'd love to have you there to hear your ideas on how you can help us create memorable experiences for our city. From the visioning sessions, known as Voice, one of the most commonly relayed themes was a desire for an optimistic view of our city, leaving negativity behind. Think about that. This is what people told us in public meetings. We had 32 public meetings. And they wanted to talk about an optimistic view of the city going forward, and they wanted to leave negativity behind, both displayed in these wordles that Leadership Evansville has prepared for us. Our administration has taken that to heart. We listen to the public, we listen to feedback, and we'll continue to make positive progress that we think will encourage growth throughout the city. I really am appreciative of this annual opportunity to come before the business community to update you on what's going on. I would tell you that the renewed relationship between the city and the chamber is critical to our city's economic future, and one that provides the business community a direct line of communication to weigh in and provides private sector points of view. First day of our term, because it was literally the day before we sat at our desks, changes to the building codes were announced as part of our improved Doing Business with the City initiative. Work continues and even utilize the services of USI's Daniela Vidal to conduct lean training with our department heads to identify areas of improvement and brainstorm on ways to better deliver services. From those meetings, and every day we're on the job, we recognize that customer service is vital to the operation of city government. We have exciting discussions underway as we speak about how we can totally revamp how city services are brought to you. More to come in the future on that. But I will tell you in the interim, if you have a problem or know a problem dealing with city government, I want to hear about it. It is not uncommon, as our department heads will attest, for me to get right in the middle of an issue and try to resolve it in a quick fashion. But I'd like to hear about those problems so that we can address them. Today I'd like to take my time and focus on 5 major projects. Now, if this were any other organization besides the Chamber, I'd start off with an update on the Convention Hotel. Seems right. But it wouldn't be right to come to a Chamber event and not lead off with arguably the most important infrastructure project of our lifetime in this area. That is I-69 and a new Ohio River Bridge over the Ohio. I'm thrilled to serve on the BridgeLink board and be a champion for the new bridge with my friend Henderson Mayor Steve Austin. As the final plans are being made to finish sections 5 and 6 in Indiana, the new focus must be made to build a bridge Without it, I-69 in Evansville simply becomes a cul-de-sac for traffic heading south. The addition of a new interstate bridge across the Ohio River will connect us to the international corridor, plus provide our communities with new bridge crossings as our existing twin bridges will soon come closer and closer to end of life. Just recently, Doug Jost, who heads Evansville Regional Airport, and I were appointed to Governor Pence's Blue Ribbon panel on transportation and infrastructure. We participated in our first meeting just last week. It was a productive discussion, and our efforts will help determine the state's long-term transportation priorities. Obviously, the completion of Interstate 69, both northbound and southbound, will be a priority that I will communicate often during this panel's work. Now, moving to a project that has consumed our community for, we think, 6 years or so, a convention hotel. It is finally coming to Downtown Hotel. As of yesterday, a symbolic action was taken on the empty lot behind the Ford Center. That's a little cheesy, but the staff wanted to keep it in. I will tell you this, it doesn't matter what office you get to, there are certain times with people that work for you just overrule you, and this was one of them. Anyway, Mayor Stant, Walt and his crew did a great job constructing this sign. It's now down on the corner. The coming soon sign, and just opening fall of 2015. Doesn't that sound inviting? It's not just coming soon, it says when it's going to open. This is a symbolic gesture, and this is a sign that there is work going on as we speak to get this convention hotel underway. Just this morning we learned that HCW, our development partner, has hired Pillar Management Company to actually run the hotel. They will be in town later this month to start making all the relationships with the CVB and Venue Works and SMG. So exciting stuff is going on there. Since financing was approved, again, HCW has been here several times, working with city department heads, working with labor unions, working with other professional services that will be working on this project. The project is moving forward. We'd hoped to have the specific groundbreaking date for you today, but the best I can tell you is that it will happen in the month of December. So more to come on that. But let me just take a quick moment to thank many of you who were instrumental in getting this project done. Many of you attended meetings, you wore stickers, you lobbied members of the Common Council, you helped us in so many ways. This really was a community effort and a community victory on a project that will have a long-lasting effect for our city. There are so many people to thank, and at the risk of leaving someone out, and it's not my intention, but there are some folks I would like to specifically mention. Bob Jones at Old National Bank, Chuck Hoopery from the Teamsters, Paul Green from IBEW. These folks and many, many more were at the table, on the phone, in conference rooms, encouraging myself, other leaders around the community to stick with it. And it was their encouragement that encouraged me to keep this project alive. So this really was a great community effort. And I will tell you this, as construction is about to begin, our convention and meeting planners are also hard at work. As of last week, we were fielding interest from an organization that is seeking to be the first conference to take advantage of the new convention hotel. You can stay tuned for more announcements on that in the coming weeks as well. Now, to a project of keen interest to this organization's transportation committee, that is the 41 Lloyd Interchange. Before taking office and as a county commissioner, I began discussions with Governor Mitch Daniels and the leadership of the Indiana Department of Transportation. At that time, the state, as you'll recall, was seeking to build a partial Cloverleaf at 41 the Lloyd. They were going to take those two lights off the Lloyd and put them on 41. We all know that was a non-starter. That was loudly communicated from the governor on down, and our message was heard. Through months of negotiations, we were able to convince NDOT and the state administration to build a full Cloverleaf at 41 in the Lloyd. This became possible, again, because of a collaborative effort between the City of Evansville and the State Department of Transportation that included a really innovative redesign of the drainage and storm sewer parts of the project. This redesign by our city engineering department actually shaved almost $8 million from the project and made this project even more plausible. Planning has been underway for the past several months, And recently, NDOT awarded about a $375,000 contract to begin clearing work and demolishing houses and other old structures. And today, for the first time, we'd like to publicly share the designs for the new Cloverleaf. Now, I was going to have a little laser thing, but I forgot it. Sorry. Now, Shopmeyer, are you here? Okay, Mike's in the back. Mike, don't worry. All the trees aren't on here yet. But there will be. They will be. This is, as they say, for display purposes only here. But I will tell you sort of some things that we think are important. One, this is east looking west. A new pedestrian crosswalk we'll talk about in a second, but you see the 4 clover leaves. There will be 4 bald cypress trees in the center of each clover leaf, surrounded by fields of wildflowers. We think that will be really breathtaking. There are significant aesthetic features that have been incorporated into this project. Specifically, these features include bold lettering featuring the city of Evansville on the US 41 overpass, as well as decorative concrete and stone finishes on the main structure. Sustainable low-maintenance landscaping that includes over 100 native species trees, numerous shrubs, grasses, and green space will complete an unprecedented project. In addition to the improved safety and traffic flow that will result from this full cloverleaf construction and the elimination of traffic signals, another key feature will be the construction of the pedestrian overpass just east of US 41 and a paved pathway that will connect to the recently completed Oak Hill Road improvements and the complete street features, sidewalks, bicycle lanes that will also be incorporated into this project. NDOT has committed to an aggressive construction timetable because this is one of the busiest interchanges in the state. Bid letting is scheduled for December 15th, 2014, with work to begin shortly thereafter. Completion date, August 2015, just in front of a new convention hotel. Woo-hoo. Don't you love it when a plan comes together? Okay, switching gears now to a mammoth project, and unfortunately a project that is long overdue. It's the long-term integrated control overflow plan, which is the result of the consent decree with the federal government. It is on our to-do list. To say it's on our to-do list is actually an understatement. For decades, Evansville and more than 700 cities across the United States have underinvested in infrastructure, in clear violation of the Clean Water Act, mainly because of the huge costs involved and the reluctance to raise rates to cover those costs. And just like hundreds of other cities, Evansville is facing federal mandates from the EPA to raise sewer rates to fix the problem now. While all of us will feel the financial burden, our administration is working diligently to lessen the burden on as much as possible by negotiating a 28-year plan that is about $300 million less than what the EPA wants us to spend. $300 million less. As a result, the Evansville Water and Sewer Utility is preparing to launch the city's largest ever capital improvement program. It's called Renew Evansville.